And then they pushed us out, so we're left with no gas, nothing, no oil, no food, no water, just left. So after 17 days, a lot of storms and uncertainty. I remember one night I was up and looked at him crying. I was like, oh, it was heaven because we were so poor, living in the communist regime. Food wasn't readily available. There's no money. Everything was monitored. And then when you kill the shrimp, your fingers and your thumbs and just bleed. You're like literally bleeding. But then you work again next day.
Yeah.
You think you can do the dishes, but at night. But then next morning they call to come in to go to work. We're like start all over again.
Till, thank you so much for joining me on the Passport Jane podcast. Your story is so inspiring, and I knew you as an entrepreneur for the past 9 years as a business acquaintance, but recently I heard a tiny clip of your bio, and I was so intrigued to share your story today. And I've known you as a business entrepreneur and as an acquaintance, but I never heard your story. And recently you spoke at a global conference, but you barely touched on your background. And then I went and looked up your bio, and I was so inspired. So thank you, Till, for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
You know, when I was reading your bio, I mean, it's pretty incredible. You were a Vietnamese immigrant who were escaping a communist regime. Can you take me back to that time in your childhood and just, a little bit of that story of how your family escaped?
Well, I'm going to cry first.
Oh my gosh, I know we might cry today, but yes.
So my dad lived through a communist country for probably 2 years, and he figured we can't live here anymore. So as a businessman, he converted the whole thing to pretending he's a fisherman.
Oh, okay.
So he had to build his own boat, and then took 2 years and pretend he's a fisherman, and then get fish to give it to them, to the guards, so to create relationship. And then he done that for 18 months, and then even sometime when there's no fish, he would buy the fishes or the fishies to give it to the guards, just to make a tradition. And then one day he decided it's time. So he kind of snuck all of us, 3 generations, my dad, my mom, and all the siblings.
How many siblings do you have? 10?
10 of us.
10 children? Wow.
And then their children, I was about 11, and then maybe 4 cousins. So about 36 of us.
On the boat. And
tucked us in at midnight where he stored the fish. So we're literally under. And then the next morning.
Did you know you were going? Did they talk about it ahead of time?
No, nobody, not even my mom.
Did she know that it was going to happen?
She knew something's going on, but we also were supposed to do what we're told. We couldn't even speak because our accents are different from the north and the south and the central. So we couldn't speak, but midnight we was sliding into the boat. And the next morning, he literally drug all of us, or at least the little ones, so that they don't cry.
Really?
Yeah.
So you would be quiet.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
So he went fishing just like he normally.
Were you scared when you woke up, or when you realized that you were on the
water?
water?
I didn't know enough to be scared. So I was about 11, but it was very naive.
Yeah. So you were 11, and you're in the bottom of the boat. And how much younger were your other siblings, the little ones?
My siblings, they're all older than me.
Oh,
I'm
you're
the baby.
youngest.
Yes,
okay.
I'm the youngest of 10. And then a lot of nieces and nephews. Some was older than a lot of them. So went fishing and never came back.
Wow.
And my dad was the first in the city to escape from Vietnam. And successfully escape.
Yes. So where was the route you were headed? What was the plan? I mean, looking back now, because obviously as an 11-year-old, you didn't know the plan.
My dad was planning to go to the Philippines.
Okay.
Prepare for 4 days of food and water. Well, on the way there, this is a long time ago. So there's no internet, there's no phone, barely a compass.
There's no GPS.
Right? So went to the Philippines, didn't make it. There was a storm. Landed in the Philippines. They chased us out because we weren't welcome.
Right?
Yes, we got lost at sea.
Was that after you went to the Philippines?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they pushed us out, so we're left with no gas, nothing, no oil, no food, no water, just left. So the storm took us wherever we were supposed to. So after 17 days, with lot of storms and waters and a lot of uncertainties, but seeing my dad going through that, at 11, even I was young, I felt everything. It was so scary. The boat was rocking, and I remember one night I was up and look at him crying. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, so he would say, we're going to tie you up because you're going to die.
Oh.
So we died together, tying up.
Yeah. So you said your dad tied you together. So
He
that
wanted
if you
to tie us together.
That you would all die together.
Yes.
And I can't even imagine as a parent the heartache. I mean, how brave it was for him to do that, to leave and to take the whole family and to prepare, but then the heartache of when it wasn't going right. And we see that all the time, immigrants' journeys, we see on the news. And I can't even imagine, because I've never known anyone who went through that. You know, you see people crossing, and I think the desperation of a life, of needing to find a new life and build a life for your family, that people all the time have to make really difficult, hard decisions. And I just feel so honored to share your story today, because I think it's important that people hear that parents make and families make decisions sometimes that we can't understand if you've never lived in that situation.
Yeah.
And so you're here, so you survived. So tell me how your whole family, or how you survived that.
So we landed in Hong Kong, stayed there for a year, 11 months, and then got sponsored by my uncle, who at that time lived in St. Petersburg.
Oh, Florida.
So
yes.
Okay. It was the first city.
So did Hong Kong welcome you there?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a refugee camp.
Okay.
They welcomed us there.
So tell me about a refugee camp.
Oh, it was heaven.
Was
For
it?
us, it was heaven, because we were so poor, living in the communist regime. Food wasn't readily available. There's no money, you know, everything was monitored. So at the camp, it was paradise. We get to eat whatever we want. They give us food every day and give us some work to make some money so we can pay for food, extra food.
I read that you were peeling shrimp. Is that where you did that?
We did that in St. Petersburg.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was at the refugee camp or when you went to St. Petersburg. So you whole family? Did everybody in your family go, or how many people?
All of us.
Okay.
We were very fortunate.
Yeah.
And so almost all of us, all of us pretty much. All of us. It's nice. It was 32 or 33 of us.
So when you got to St. Petersburg, what kind of culture shock was that? And were you all living together? So tell us about that experience of immigrating to the U.S.
Well, it was a cultural shock for betterment. Not like, oh my gosh, we don't speak English, we don't know what to do. That's to us at the time, it was all a blessing.
Yeah.
Going to work, at 14, I think 12 or 13 or 14, we take the red lobster. We were working for a contractor that sell the shrimp to red lobster. So the shrimp we would cut the head and the tail, and then peel and devein.
Wow.
And that's what we did for just to get cash to pay for rent.
Wow. Did your whole family do it? Was it a family, or
those
was it
who
you?
can work?
Okay.
Work. Yeah. And even today, I would never order a dish that's shrimp.
Really?
We ate so much shrimp.
Okay. I didn't know if it was because you, sometimes I grew up on a farm, and I can tell you, I don't really like I don't really love eggs. I don't really love, even beef. And it's not that it's because I worked on the farm, and so I can see sometimes when you are around something all the time, you don't want it. But then I didn't know if it was because of the trauma. You've peeled so much shrimp, you did that, where you're like, you see it differently. You don't even see it as
yes,
yes,
like you with the eggs and
yes.
the beef, you see it all the time. Just
Yeah.
the thought of seeing it all the time. And then when you peel the shrimp, your fingers and your thumbs and just bleed.
Yeah.
You're like literally bleeding. But then you work again next day.
Yeah.
You think you can't do the dishes at night, but then next morning they call to come in to go to work. We're like start all over again.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing, the grit and the perseverance. And I look back over the things in my childhood working on the farm, which was nothing like that. It still was, maybe it wasn't glamorous and it was hard, but I am so grateful for it.
Yes.
Because it made me the person I am today. And I see all of the amazing things you've done. And, sometimes you think about, like, if you wouldn't have had that journey, would you have been as successful? Probably not.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at this stage, I would not go back and change anything.
Yeah.
Because
I
it
know.
shaped me who I am today.
Yeah, it's, those stories, I think of struggle and perseverance, but then that drive to make it. I mean, there is something that gives you this drive to, like, I don't know, when I was young, I wanted to prove my parents, like, I wanted to show my family that I could make it. I wanted to make my parents proud. And then there was this point that it changed to where I wanted to make my children proud. And then now I want to leave the legacy for my grandchildren. And then, but I'm also, now that I'm turned 50, we talked about it.
Yes.
You don't even really care about, like, and I'm just so proud. I'm proud of me. I want to make myself proud.
Yes.
So, and all those things, yes, I know my parents were proud of me. I know my kids are proud. My grandkids will be proud. But really what's more important now is me.
I think it's you, because for me also, I feel like I've grown. I mean, it's beautiful. It's great to do things for others. And at least for me, to be known as a pleaser. So everybody comes first.
Yeah.
And at 50, I'm like, now what? How many more? Is it 50 more? What am I going to do?
Right. Yeah.
And you learn to love yourself more and do things for yourself and be the truest and the most authentic version of yourself. And then guess what? It's not selfish.
No, it's not.
It's actually selfless, because now we can do so much more
for people.
For people with happiness instead of with suffering and lack.
An obligation.
An obligation. Now you do it because you're inspired to do it. And what a difference.
Yeah.
So
you made the journey, you went to Florida. How did you end up you went to Houston next, is that right, on the journey?
Yes. Well, I went to...
did you go to school? You went to university?
I did. I went to St. Petersburg High. And during the time we worked shrimping, all of us saved $18,000.
Wow.
My dad said we were on food stamps also. So food stamp and getting cash, not the most honorable thing, but we did what we needed to do.
Yes.
And Dad said we're here not to burden the Americans. We're here to get freedom and to take care of ourselves. So we saved $18,000.
Oh my goodness.
And so we moved to Houston and bought a convenience store.
Oh. And did you work in it as a family?
Yes, we worked as a family. And then, at the store, it's pretty dangerous. It's,
yes, my parents had a convenience store when I was young.
Whew,
yes.
I didn't know how we survived through that. But we made it through.
Yeah, I remember them teaching us what to do if you get robbed. And
knife.
Out of all of our family, my dad was like, just give them the money, don't do anything, just get to the register, reach the money, whatever they ask, just do. And my grandmother said, no, I'm not giving them $1. She was like, and she started telling us she was like, I will die before they take $1. And we were like, looked at her and we thought, she will. Like, they will run, they will leave, they will not make it past my grandma.
Tough cookie.
I know, she was hilarious because she was like, I'm sorry, I'm not giving them $1. So we loved it when my grandmother worked, but we thought it was funny that she wasn't gonna just hand over any money. So you worked in the store.
So I worked there for the summer. I bought like meat translating from Vietnamese to English to my family and the seller.
Where did you learn to speak English?
When we were in St. Petersburg, after we didn't speak a word of English when we arrived in America. So during school, we went to school not knowing anything, just do the daily thing, 7 classes, and attend it without knowing anything. So after school, we went to classes called ESL, English as a Second Language, and then to 9 o'clock, and then go home and sleep and get up and do that again for years, forever. And because we were younger, we learn a lot faster than our parents. So I became a translator for my parents, just like those foreigners we know. And then when we bought a convenience store, I was a translator, knowing very little English. I used everything I could to translate. And then we bought the store, and then for the summer, and then I got accepted to Florida State University. And full pay, you know.
I bet that was so exciting.
It was exciting,
your family,
but my dad didn't like that.
Really?
I'm the baby and the girl in the family. In the Asian culture, we're not supposed to leave the house until we get married. So he didn't want me to go, and he said, "We will pay for you in Houston." And I said, "It's 3 times the tuition, and you don't have the money to pay." And I left anyway. He didn't talk to me for a year. My dad, who was my hero, didn't talk to me for a year.
You know, when I got divorced, my dad didn't talk to me and if he did, he would only say, "Go home." And I would say, "Dad, I'm never going to that home again." And it's funny, in culture and society and what people expect of you as a daughter. It's hard to go against that, and it was heartbreaking for that year or longer that my dad was very adamant that I go home. But you know,
can't blame him. He's very protective of us, and they love us.
My dad is probably my biggest champion. And after a couple of years, my dad was he respected my work so much because he saw I made it on my own, and you know, and I accomplished a lot. But looking back, I can't even imagine leaving to go to school and going against your dad's wishes.
And worse.
Yeah.
I never graduated.
Oh no! So
and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" You know, he expected me to be an attorney or a doctor or somebody. I didn't graduate.
Yeah. Well, you became somebody. Which did you?
I got kicked out.
What did you do to get kicked out?
State because I didn't make my GPA. And then so I moved back to Houston. I moved to Houston and went to U of H. It was a lot more lenient than today, so I heard. And then went to school for another year and a half and couldn't graduate. And then I couldn't tell my parents that I...
Do they know now? No. Did you ever Did you graduate?
Never.
No, okay. I was going to say, do you pretend like you did?
I got a BS?
Yes.
And I did pretend for half a year to... They didn't ask, so I didn't tell.
Yeah.
I dropped out and went to work for the Gallipo.
Oh, yeah.
At this time, my English wasn't even that great with a heavy accent if I can put the words together. But I could read.
Oh.
You know, in the Gallipo, you just read and call and read. And then I stumbled into an apartment job. Somebody hired me to work at the leasing office. And then they gave me a place to stay.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't move out because they wouldn't let me. My parents wouldn't let me. So the boss thought I was smart. He said, "If you go get your real estate license, I would pay for it." Wow. And I'm like, "Sure." So I got my license in 6 weeks.
Wow.
It was a lot easier then.
Yeah.
And I did my first deal and made $5,000.
Oh my gosh. Did you feel like it changed your life?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like heaven on earth.
Yeah.
And so
I remember my first commission check in sales. I was a single mom. I mean, it was a really bad year before. I had lost my car. I had moved to Houston with no money. And I got my first commission check. That was $15,000.
When was this?
And it was in 2000.
Okay.
And I was like Scarlett
That's a
O'Hara,
lot.
and I said, "I will never be poor again." because it changed my trajectory, because I knew what I was capable of. And I think I can only imagine of you getting that check and knowing what you were capable of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life was never the same.
So what did that spark in you? I guess the real estate. Did you realize the potential? And then what happened after that?
Well, what sparked me was growing up, 10 kids. Mom couldn't read or write, so illiterate. Dad was pretty much an alcoholic until he found his purpose to take us here. And then so there's no food or shelter, pretty much. We live in a little shack of a lot of us. And so my dream was to have abundance of food and a place to live. And so enough, when I got married, I got a house. Through the convenience store, my parents bought a house for us. But when I got my 5, literally that weekend, I bought so much food and have a big party, and they didn't know what happened, right? So I got my mom a wedding ring, which she never had. So it was $1,800. That was a lot, a big chunk of that. And then my sister offered to pay half, so that helped. And then I bought a couch and some chairs and tables for us, and then from there, it's
funny the things you spend the money on when you first make the money.
What did you do with yours?
This sounds crazy because I did something similar. First I went to Saks Fifth Avenue because at my job, most of the people were single, and they spent their money every weekend, like on clothes or whatever. Well, I had 3 children, and one of the first things I bought was first I didn't buy the sheets. I bought sheets at TJ Maxx. I had been looking at TJ Maxx for 3 years. I was walking around the aisles, and I would never buy anything because I didn't have the money to buy anything. But I would go as like a stress relief, just to go look at pretty things.
Yes, and dream and wish.
So I bought sheets. I bought good sheets. I did go to Saks Fifth Avenue because the girls at work would go for lunch. Back then it was Ruggles. They would have Ruggles.
I remember.
And I couldn't afford anything. I mean, had never been in a Saks Fifth Avenue, but I had gone to eat lunch with them. And I got that check, and I thought, I'm going to go to Saks and buy myself something. And I bought a Swarovski necklace and earrings and a bracelet. Which I think I've wore one time in my entire life because they're too dressy to wear with anything. But it was $645, and I felt so guilty for spending that. But I also felt like I'm gonna do this to show myself that I can shop at Saks and that I can buy stuff that I would really love someday. And it was kind of like more of an inspiration. And I can tell you, since that time, I think I've only bought one thing there. I bought like a formal dress because I love formal dresses, and I've ordered some stuff, but I really haven't done much shopping. It was just the whole idea that I could.
Yes.
And I did buy a couch. We didn't have a TV. I remember thinking on my little list, I had a little list of 10 things that I wanted. And one was, this is so silly, surround sound I wanted a TV. I wanted surround sound. I wanted to be able to eventually take my kids on a vacation a year. That was on my list. And then I had wrote, someday I want a swimming pool. And so that was my first year that I wrote those things down of the things that I wanted. But
you got them all?
I did. And it was interesting that looking back, I mean, it took me longer. It took me like 10 years to get those things. But I remember when I got my first house and it had a pool. And I was like, that was actually the last thing that I checked off, because the vacation thing came pretty quick. But when I checked that off the list, it was like, I got all this. I got that. And then I was like, I need a better list. Those things were pretty, the bar was pretty low. But when So I love, though, that you bought that for your mom. It shows your knowing that your mom deserved that.
That was a dream, too. 10 children, not knowing a whole lot. It's just...
Yeah, I know. My mom, my favorite thing to do is now spoil my mom or take her on trips or buy her clothes or whatever it is.
You're very lucky to still have a mom.
I am very lucky, and but it means so much because she sacrificed a lot for us as well. So you started in real estate, and I read online that it just took off because you really, really dug in and
life was never the same after that.
So tell me about that.
And I'm still a friend of my boss.
Really?
Yes. He lives in New York now. I was a representative realtor for his apartment project, And he bought it for $500,000 at the time. He sold it for $8.5 million.
Wow, that is incredible.
And the night he sold it, he said, "Till, let's go celebrate." I said, "Celebrate what?" He go, "I just sold the apartment." And I said, "I thought that's your retirement." He said, "Well, the price I couldn't resist."
Oh my goodness, I love that. So you made it in real estate, and then I read that you started buying as well.
I started buying, but what really recently happened since 2016? Well, it started 2002, but I did it for me and my family. But 2016, I incorporated my company to specialize in owner finance, third-party owner finance, because most of my family members are self-employed people. So it was a struggle to get loans, to get homes.
And immigrants as well. It is really hard to get citizens. The loans. Yes. Yeah.
So I specialize in the third-party owner financing, and so to help buyers who cannot qualify for home loan to get into any home they want. And the beauty of that is we don't check credit or verify income. We make it really easy. We actually only have 2 requirements for you have the down payment and you have a good attitude.
Really? Well, that's how I met you, was because you had done several real estate deals with my agents, helping people get into loans that didn't qualify for a traditional mortgage. So I only knew you from that.
Yes.
And you have built an incredible company. And can you give us any of the stats of like how many people you've helped?
We help hundreds and hundreds of people since 2016. But if we go back to 2002, I would say thousands.
Yeah.
So I made it my mission for the rest of my life because I found it more of a passion now instead of a job, right? Yeah. So I want to go really, right now we're in the state of Texas, and I want to bring foreign buyers to Texas and to increase our economy and to help realtors to get commission. And to get them here.
Yeah. So you work with real estate professionals as well. You help them with their clients to educate them of the things that are available outside of the traditional lending system. And then now, and you're an author. You wrote a book. Tell me about your book.
I wrote a book that's called Secret to Wealth, sorry. And I think it was a group of us to write it, and so it became an international bestseller. And I wrote, there's so much struggles. It's hard to share with the children because they wouldn't understand. So I started writing a book for them.
Really? A children's book?
In 2018. Just to express myself and what I went through for the children. And it was done, and my author wanted to publish it. I said, no, this is for my children. And she said, you have to publish it. And so I still haven't published it yet.
Really? So that's on
she's mad at me. She's not talking to me. She said, I'm not talking to you until you publish it. Because the life you would change with this book.
Yeah.
But I was uncomfortable, and I felt I wasn't ready because it's very raw.
I know. It's really hard to share your story.
Yeah.
This podcast has...
I still cannot read it because I get tears. And so I'm going to write another book from 2018 to 2025. That's volume 2. And then I may publish both at the same time.
I want you to think about how many children need to hear that book and need to know your story.
Foreign nationals.
I think you need that to be your motivating factor of that you're going to help so many people. And the longer you wait, the less people are going to see. So I know
I'm not going to connect you with my writer.
Oh my gosh, I know. We're going to get on you because I think that you've got more of a message to tell because you're going to inspire younger people. I know that we talked about this podcast is for all ages because we want to inspire young people, and we want to encourage middle-aged, and then we also want people to see the next chapter.
Wake up the 50s.
I want them to see like what happens at 65 and all the inspiring things that people can do. But I know you're going to have to go. We had a really tight schedule today, and I'm going to talk to you more. We're going to do a second episode because we have so much to talk about.
So much, yes.
But so you're about to go on a trip next week to Croatia, and I'm headed that direction as well. So tell me this next chapter right now. We talked about a little earlier in your 50s. Tell me some of the things you're doing for yourself
Oh my gosh. When I turned 50, I said, now what? Right? So the first 50 years, pretty much, I feel like I did everything for everybody, even with my own sacrifice. And then at 50, I'm like, okay, something's got to change because the suffering was real.
Yeah.
So then I had a big birthday. I never had a birthday party, ever, until I turned 50. Then I invited all my friends. Literally all of them show up. Wow. And I did get up and ask for the permission to say, from here on, I would like your permission to give me the freedom to take care of me. Literally, wow. I got stand-up ovations. They stood up and clapped, and I felt like, are you trying to tell me am I stupid or what? It's about time. And so from there on, the first year was a struggle, and I felt selfish. The second year is a little phased in, but by the third year, I got it. And since then, I literally took care of me first. So I traveled pretty much the world.
Yeah, you told me you were gone 9 months.
Yeah, pretty much the world to explore me and explore the world, what it has to offer, and to do some charity work that I love to give. So that was the one way of giving and not having to do the daily task to give and to help. So my trip to Croatia it's going to be more fun and working hard for the younger generations. Working hard is good. Do what you love, and there's a lot of potential in the future.
Yeah.
And for the middle age, continue pounding.
Yeah.
You're smart.
Never give up.
You know?
Yeah. And you can reinvent yourself
as
well.
Reinvent yourself.
The next chapter.
Challenges are good. In fact, at this age, I look for challenges because without challenges, you can't grow. You're too comfortable, then you won't grow. And if you don't grow, you die. So for the middle-aged people, continue doing what you're doing. Just make sure you love it and you be yourself. Yeah. And then
so I've noticed a lot of women, they are now taking time to do creative passions and to kind of go back to who they were as a core and not just as an obligation or service or what we're expected. Yes. And I love that. And I can't wait to see your next chapter, whether it be the book or your other book.
I know,
and even your travels. And I can't wait for you to be back on the podcast so we can really dive in because there's a lot.
I know.
You did a lot in, in real estate and then in other industries as well, not just real estate. There's a whole chapters that we've missed. But
looking back, I've done a lot. At the time, it didn't seem like it, but looking back is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And for the 50s, keep pounding away.
Oh yeah.
It's never too late to start. 50, 60, I read somewhere it says, whatever you're doing when you're 50 or older, the next few years is going to determine the quality of your life the next 20 or 30 years. Wow. So it's never too late to start. I started at 50.
I know.
So
I am so enjoying this next chapter, and I think going in with confidence and the fact that you have all of these life lessons and you can see things more objectively. I mean, I feel like I'm an observer now of, when people do things, I'm like, oh, that's why they're doing it, or that's why there's a reaction, or why this happened. You see the causative effect of your actions or other people's actions. And when you're young, I felt like when I was younger, I was just in the middle of it. And now I just feel like I'm looking at it from a different perspective of, does that matter? Is that important? Like, how is that going to make my life better? Does that help anyone? And it's so freeing to be able to step back.
Yes, it's freeing.
It is. It's a weight lifted off.
It's liberating.
Yeah, liberating. I love that. I think I'm going to have some new words: liberation and freedom. Yeah.
And just to be yourself is the best thing ever.
Yeah. I know. There was a lot of expectations. There was a lot of expectations on you culturally as a mom. Yes. And even as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of expectations.
A lot. It's a female entrepreneur. And Asian, it's like, But it made me very strong. I would not change a thing. It made me who I am today, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I enjoyed our conversation.